aboard a Ford has had its privileges in season 93. The new generation EB V8 has been virtually untouchable on the power circuits like Phillip Island and Brisbane's Lakeside Raceway. With 4 rounds down, former F1 gun Alan Jones leads the Shell National Series from Peter Jackson teammate Glenn Seaton. 2 points behind is Shell Racing's John Bowe, 5 ahead of Dick Johnson, then 30 clear to Holden's Thomas Mazera, who remains 10 in front of Mark Scaife. Today's war zone is the Winton Raceway in northeastern Victoria. Narrow and twisting 2.3k layout always produces an element of surprise, because here, horsepower isn't everything. The 7 Network welcomes you to Winton and round 5 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championships. Proudly brought to you by Shell. Hello, I'm Mike Raymond. Welcome to Winton Motor Raceway and round 5 of the Shell Touring Car Nationals from Ned Kelly country. And I tell you what, there might be the hint of an ambush here today between the great V8s. Alan Moffat, so far, Glenn Seaton, Alan Jones have been the pace setters.
They have, and congratulations to Glenn. Mike, you know, he's only 26 years old, and to run a professional team and get 4 pole positions in a row in this company is really something. He hasn't won a touring car championship yet, and this is the year he wants to do it.
Well, yesterday in qualifying, Glenn Seaton the fastest, 1.22 seconds under Jim Richards' GTR mark of last year. Alan Jones, his teammate, second fastest qualifier. Then John Bowe in the Shell Falcon, followed by Thomas Mazera, the Telecom Mobile Net Commodore. Dick Johnson in the second Shell Falcon EB, and rounding out the 6, Mark Scaife in the Winfield Commodore VP. That's Saturday, but of course on Sunday everything changes, and one man who needed 1 today was Dick Johnson.
Dick Johnson, it certainly makes it a lot easier on such a tight track.
Mate, I tell you what, it's easier getting to pole position this way than it is any other way.
That is so important on such a tight track. The second tightest touring car round is here at Winton. The first corner is just going to be sensational.
Well, I think so. Not only the first corner, but I reckon every 3 laps after that is going to be unbelievable, because it's very tight and it's very close.
Well, the Peter Jackson Dash, of course, saw Dick Johnson take over pole from Thomas Mazera in the Telecom Mobile Net car. Then John Bowe, Mark Scaife, Alan Jones and Glenn Seaton, though, who had the front row yesterday, have gone to the back row. And we pick up some of the highlights of the Trophy Dash this morning. Coming in for the start, on the inside it's Dick Johnson and Thomas Mazera on the outside. Mazera needed a lightning start, but Johnson gunned it on the inside. Mazera tries to cross, a touch, is caught wide. Watch his outside back wheel as he hits the ripple strip. Puts it sideways, Mark Scaife finishes him off, and through the infield goes both Thomas Mazera and Alan Jones. That put Dick Johnson up into the lead. Car number 17, boy, was he out of the war zone here. Leading from John Bowe, then Glenn Seaton coming back through the field. This is the battle now for second. John Bowe right in the mirror, comes Glenn Seaton. Seaton to the inside, Adam away, smack straight into the side of him. He goes through to take over second spot, and dropping back into the third was John Bowe with Mark Scaife finishing in 4th. That was the way they finished. We picked up AJ with DJ.
Thanks, Mike. And Dick, you certainly didn't let anyone down there. You predicted before the race that the first corner was going to be hectic. It was just that.
Well, you know, that's the way the racing's going to be today. You know, it's just the nature of the racetrack. You've got to get a good starting position. You've got to make sure you get a real good start, and make sure you get to the first corner first, settle down, and do very consistent laps after that.